Hey guys, how's it going? Like Butter here, and you can't see me right now, but I am smiling from ear to ear. I have a grin from ear to ear right now because I am just so happy. I am so happy. Let's talk a little bit about the Division 2. So, they actually hooked me up with a review copy. I was able to play it 24 hours before early access, so I got early access of the game. I've clocked in about 11 hours, and I want to give you guys a rundown of my first impressions and what I think about the game. And if you think, should you get the game? I know a lot of people have been asking me, Drew, should I get the game? What do you think about Division 2? And I gave you guys my overall opinions on the beta. But the beta honestly wasn't even close to a representation of the game. It's not. I remember in the beta, you could get through a area incredibly fast. You would get through get to level 8 incredibly fast, and it didn't feel like there was so much that it overwhelmed you. It felt like there were a lot of things to do in the open world. But honestly, what you saw in the beta isn't even a fraction of what's in the full game, and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that. And this is just so you guys know, it's going to be kind of a little love letter about the Division 2 because I'm honestly a loss for words at how much content is in this game, and you can just see the passion that went into it. And I'm used as a gamer, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. I'm used to companies just giving me the bare minimum to pass as a game. We've seen it, especially in looter games. You've seen it in Destiny. We've seen it in Anthem, where it feels like they're just giving us the base amount, just enough for the game to pass as a full game. The Division 2 doesn't feel like that. It feels like this game is a passion project. It feels like they wanted to give you everything that they could. It doesn't feel like things are held back. We played, and you would clear an area, and you would go around, you'd collect shade tech. You would be able to use that on your perks to level up your perks or unlock other, modifications of your skills. And you would go around and you would clear some side missions, which, by the way, the side missions in this game are about as good, in my opinion, about as good as some of the main missions in the Division 1. So Madison Square Garden, if you played the Division 1, that's kind of like what the side missions are in this game. There's story behind it, there's dialogue, and you don't feel like you're just going to an area, killing a bunch of enemies. It doesn't feel like that. Like, there's an actual story there to each side mission. And you would clear a bunch of side missions. You'd do 5-6 side missions. And then you would go and you'd be like, okay, well, I just completed this project. I'm going to go talk to the person at the settlement. And then you talk to the person at the settlement, and boom, 6 more side missions. You're just like, what is going on? How much content is here? Not to mention that you have open world activities going on constantly. If you guys played West Side Pier from the Division 1, if you know kind of how the alerts went, how there were events going on, it's like that, but everywhere. There's constantly just public executions, propaganda events, conflict where there's just enemies fighting each other, which were kind of like the encounters in Division 1. There's so many things in this game. There's just enemies out in the open world that you can come across, and there's just I'm a loss for words at how much content gets thrown at you in this game. And I'm not used to this. You guys can hear it in my voice. I am just not used to this. And I am so blown away by how many things there are to do in the Division 2. And this is only my first 10 hours of the game, guys. I'm only level 14. You can see in this video. I am level 14. And the reason I'm level 14 is because I was taking my time. I was going through and I was trying to complete entire areas, and it just wasn't happening, man. You got control points that you have to get control of, and then you have to get loot to give to those control points. And then all of a sudden, like, enemies would move in and they would get control of the control point again. You had to fight them off. And then you would go and you say, oh, you know, there's some shade tech here and there's some loot here. Let's go do this. And then you'd get caught with a public execution would pop up and you want to go save them and you would get loot. And the loot drops are just so plentiful. It doesn't feel like you're getting one drop here and there. You're getting a lot of loot and a lot of goodies to play with, and it feels amazing. And I'm just not used to, you know, a company giving me so much stuff for the base price of $60. Like, I cannot stress how unreal the amount of things there are to do in the open world area. And you got to remember, this is just the level 1 to 30 process. I'm not even to level 15 yet. And the amount of content that has been thrown at me has just been absurd. And I can only imagine what they have planned for us in the end game. And I just want to say thank you to the Division developers for giving us a game. It feels like the game that we all wanted Division 1 to be. We have a living, breathing open world where you can just do countless amounts of things. And not only that, to think that on top of all this, we're going to have the Dark Zone, we're going to have conflict PvP. There's going to be so many cosmetics that we can work towards and endgame builds that we can start going for. Haven't even seen exotics, haven't even seen all of the endgame stuff. And I can already tell you in the first 10 hours of the game, this game is 100%. I can 100% guarantee you that it is worth a purchase, especially if you've played the Division 1. If you're into the looter shooter genre, this game is a must buy in my opinion. It's incredible. I can't get over just how happy I am to have a game that I loved so much. I love the Division 1, but it had flaws, it had problems, it lacked content, it was riddled with bugs, and to get a game that feels like everything we wanted is just crazy. Now, you're going to run into a couple bugs here and there. It wouldn't be the Division without it, and it's because it is a very complex, huge open world, very, very complicated game. And with games like that, you're going to see some bugs. But nothing, like, I think the worst bug we came across was there was an enemy stuck in one of the doors. We had to just basically drop the server and restart, and boom, it was fine. And I didn't get any sound bugs. I didn't get any of those problems that I was getting with the beta. You know, the beta had some really frustrating sound bugs and stuff. And you got to remember, this is an early access version of the game, guys. Like, there is a major, and I mean major, patch coming out on day one. First, you know, it's different on each platform, but there is like a 40 gig patch coming out on day one, and I can only imagine how many bug fixes there are in that. So to have a game like The Division, but with as much content as Division 2, and you still have the feel of Division 1, if that makes sense. Like, it still feels like The Division, but it's literally built on every single aspect that made The Division 1 great, but they just do it so much better. I also had an encounter, and this is a big spoiler alert. If you don't like spoilers, click off the video right now. Hunters have made it in the Division 2, and I have a clip tonight at 12. What is jamming me like that? Is that a fucking hunter? It was basically an encounter. A random encounter where I was just out in the open world. There was a thunderstorm. It was raining. It was dark. I could tell there was just this uneasy feeling I had. And I was walking down this like back alley, and all of a sudden I just start getting like these fuzzy interference with my uplink. I noticed like my health bar was kind of buzzing, and you hear that. I'm just like, what is that buzzing noise? And all of a sudden you see this hunter. You see the shadow of this hunter walking up to this fence, and he just looks at me right in the eyes, and then takes off into the shadows. I was blown away by this random encounter. I don't know if it's an Easter egg or if it's to give you the idea that you're gonna fight hunters later on in the game, but I haven't even seen not 10%, guys. I haven't seen 10% of this game, and I can already tell you I am blown away by the amount of content and the amount of things you're going to be able to do, and just how balanced the loot feels and how interesting and interactive the skills feel. It's amazing, guys. I'm so happy. I'm sorry if this kind of seems like a love letter video. It kind of is. I'm not going to lie. It's just I felt like I had to make a video to kind of let you guys know my feelings, and like it's unbelievable how rich and how passionate it feels. Like the developers just put so much time and effort into this game. It just feels like a passion project to me, and it's just so different because, like I said, I'm so used to companies just giving me the bare minimum, you know, and just saving content to add in DLC later on, and this game just ain't that. It just ain't that, guys. It's unreal. I'm super excited. I'm really excited to get back into it tomorrow and kind of, you know, press on and just see where the story goes. Like even the story, like I wasn't huge into the Division 1 story, but the cutscenes in this game really start having me thinking about what the future is for our Division agents and what's going on in DC, and how this capital of the United States is kind of falling within itself, and how there's like a vacuum of power. It's crazy. I'm so excited. I just wanted to let you guys know I think this game's worth picking up. I think if you liked the Division 1 or you like the looter shooter genre, even if you have never played this genre before, I think this game's worth picking up. I can honestly say, and you know, some people make a good point, like, are you sure you're not in the honeymoon stage? And I've been in the honeymoon stage with a lot of games, and I usually have a pretty good idea of, you know, I usually have in the back of my mind where I'm like, is it just because it's new and this and that? Nah, I don't feel like that, man. I really don't. Like, I actually feel like this is real, and I'm excited, and I'm super excited for the future of the game. And I had one of the most iconic streams today I've ever had. So much support, so many people just excited for the future of this game. And I'm really happy to be a part of this community and to be back and to feel like the passion is back, you know, in the game that we all love. And I'm super excited for the future. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if I didn't give you more constructive feedback. There really wasn't much in the 11 hours that I played today that I didn't like. Honestly, there were barely any bugs. It was just a fun time. I was playing with some friends and we were just getting loot and just clearing out. And like I said, I'm more of a PvP guy myself. I'm never huge into PvE, but I thoroughly, and I mean thoroughly, enjoyed running around the open world today and you know, doing side missions and completing projects and you know, clearing control points and just exploring the open world. It's amazing. They've built something very special here, guys, and I think it's only going to get better with time. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to drop the video a like, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Factory is out of action and they lost a big stockpile of ordnance. Throw in the fact that the settlements can scavenge those workbenches and tools, and I'd say it's been a pretty good day.